So hello and welcome to this episode of Adventure Bike Pilot. Finally on the road again. Although let's not get our hopes up too high, because we can't go too far. They've just lifted the 5k restrictions on the lockdown, so now the new rule is you can stay within your county, which for me is County Kildare, or within 20 kilometers of your house, which is slightly more sensible than the last one when it was just in your own county, because like me, a lot of people are on border towns, so because I couldn't go outside my county, it would sometimes force me to go further within my county to something if it was closer, but just across the border of the county, which made absolutely no bloody sense whatsoever. So at least this one's a little bit better, although to be honest with you, I think it's a nonsense at this point. But anyway, so what am I trying to do today? Well, I've three things I want to try and achieve, or maybe two things, we'll see, but 2 or 3 things I want to achieve in today's video. Number one is just get out and ride the bike, because I bought this bike in about January or February of last year, and I have barely ridden it because of COVID. Barely. I think I got 2 little weekends away between lockdowns last year, and then a couple of little day trips. That's it. A brand new bike sitting in the shed doing nothing. I've had very little riding on the bike now in the last few weeks because of COVID. I know a lot of people have been doing milk runs, but I haven't really been doing them at all. I have had the bike out to bring it in for servicing and some repairs and stuff like that, but that was allowed under COVID rules. So this ride out has been a long time coming. You know, 6 to 8 weeks, 2 months. It's like telling a fish not to breathe or swim. Fish not to breathe, fish not to swim. Or telling me not to breathe. It's just, you know, not being able to get out on the bike is just, I'll be honest with you guys, just this whole lockdown stuff is just really getting in on me now. Not being able to get out and about in general, not being able to get out on the bike, go and do my motorbike trips, weekends away, holidays, go out for a meal, just all of that stuff gone. It is ridiculous. Which brings me to the second thing I want to achieve today is I want to go through what I've been doing to the bike in the downtime of the lockdown, getting it ready, putting all the new bits and bobs onto it, getting it ready for when finally they lift this this imprisonment we're in. So yeah, so now the idea of today's ride is to stay within the county, so I've kind of mapped out a loose route around the circumference of Kildare. But because counties in Ireland aren't like the counties in the States, they don't have big straight lines down them. There's going to be a couple of little times when you cross over county lines momentarily to get back into Kildare, because that's just the only road you can take when you're along the border of the county. So I'm assuming they're going to allow some tolerance if you're stopped for that. You'd want to be some kind of special person to ding me on that one if you were a guard. We'll cross that bridge if it comes, but I don't think there's only 1 or 2 points where I have to cross over. But yeah, so we'll stay in the county. We're doing a big loop. It's coming out at about nearly 200 kilometers. We get home about 4 o'clock, but a wonderful day. And we'll see what we can find in the county of Kildare, because I haven't been on a lot of these roads. You know, I'm not originally from Kildare, I'm from Dublin. I've lived here for a few years, but you know, like most motorbikers, if you live in Dublin or Kildare or Wicklow and all that, you tend to go up into the Wicklow Mountains on the weekend, so you usually drive out of the county on your bike, which is a shame because it's a beautiful county. So yeah, I know some of the things I'm going to see today, but a lot of it I haven't a clue. We'll see where it brings us. So I'm between Johnstown and I think I'm heading for Clane now. So yeah, let's see what we find. As you can see, it's a beautiful day. And as I come across something of scenic interest or historic interest or whatever, I'll power back up the camera and we'll have a look and see what we find. So I'll power down for the moment. I'll talk to you shortly. Yeah, so there's the church. I don't know, you tell me, do you think that looks like a rocket? This was one point of interest I came down to. Looks like they're updating it. This old mill. Looks like they're turning it into apartments, I'd say. Beautiful old building. I don't know what it's called. I must dig it up and see what it is and what the history of it is. I suppose it's good that they convert it and get some use out of it again, rather than just sit there going derelict. Be a shame to knock it. Jeez, that is some big project they're doing, alright. Body Kelly GFC. Oh wow, that's a nice little area here. See these old buildings again. Jeez, they are beautiful. Beautiful. It's a shame that they're not being utilised now. They look like they're going a little bit derelict there, but what a beautiful set of buildings. That's the God, look at all that. That's the one thing. It's the one thing that's really great about Ireland. No matter where you go, every inch of it is unbelievably historic and has fantastic old castles, buildings, churches, monasteries, cathedrals, you name it. we have some of the oldest sites on the planet. Like Newgrange, over 5,000 years old, older than the pyramids, older than Stonehenge, and far more impressive than Stonehenge, by the way. Far more impressive. And one that's often overlooked is Nout, spelt with a K. It's even far more impressive than Newgrange. And it's all right on our doorstep. I went to see Stonehenge. Jesus, I'm losing my mind. I went to see Stonehenge there a couple of years ago with the brothers, and it's an astounding sight. It's absolutely astounding. But I couldn't help but feel Newgrange was far superior. That's always Nout, and yet outside of Ireland, probably flip all people know about them. And it's a shame, because they're an astonishing sight. It's absolutely astonishing. I'll try and get, yeah, we're coming onto the heath here, I think. Pretty sure this is it. Yeah, this is it. I've just come in from a different side that I normally come in, that's why I wasn't sure. But the Rock of Dunamase, I think, is this one here. It's basically a castle built on top of a hill. Look, you're one on a horse. And it always reminds me of one on the pony. It always reminds me of Weathertop from Lord of the Rings. But it was clearly a well fortified building. I'm not going to go up to it because it's a bit of a trek up to it. There's a bit of a climb up to it. And I'm in full gear. But what I will try and do is try and get the drone over it, because this is one I've been trying to get the drone over for an age. But the problem is, it's often got a lot of people here. But I'm going to try and fly it around the edge of the hill, away from the people. All the people right on the top where the castle is, I go around the circumference. And hopefully there'll be flip all people there today. Right. So, I got the drone in the air, so hopefully I got the footage. And if I did, well, roll it there, Colette. Woohoo! So hopefully that footage was good. I have been trying to get that for a long time, so I'm delighted now, assuming it's turned out. But yeah, because it's normally jam-packed there, it wasn't too bad at all today. Yeah, so that went well. I'm delighted with that now. So if I achieve nothing else today, I got that piece of footage I've been trying to get for about 3 years. Now, moon. Yeah, so that's where we are. We're in the moon. Oh, and I missed my turn again. Look, I've done it again. I'm paying attention. What's that? Oh, moon high crosses. Oh, go in here and have a look. I think I had this on my list, didn't I? There's a big building there anyway, whatever the heck it is. My God. Oh wow, okay. What the heck is that? Wow. That is beautiful. See what I mean? Just on a little back road. Everywhere you go. Castles. Beautiful little river and bridge there, huh? What is that? I don't know if it's private, it looks private. What does this say? Moon High Cross. Oh, now we'll go and have a look at that now. Hang on a second, I'll just do a U-ey here. Alright. Let's go and have a goosey. It'll only be a second, so I'll leave the tom-tom there. Oh, the little calves. Oh, they're gorgeous. How are you, lads? I love your work in pepper sauce. Jesus, it's private. Kind of feels private. Oh yeah, sorry, after you. Go on, thanks. Oh well. Okay, that's impressive. That is one big cross. Spiral pattern serpents uncoiling themselves into the cross arms flanked by a figure on either side. Spiral decorated lozenge enclosed by 12 bubbles. Animal with raised tail seen in profile. 2 bovines. A deer. Dog, crucifixion, fossils. Wow. Wow. These carvings. Absolutely incredible. Getting a photo of that. The moon high crosses. Moon. Moon. Poor little things. Come here. Hello. Hello! Aren't they adorable? Look at them shaking. I feel bad about eating yous now. But I like burgers, you know. Look, he's following me now. You coming? You're not sure what to make of me. So we're just coming onto the Curragh here. Been here before in recent videos. We came in from the other side. But as you can see, it's basically a big open plains area in the middle of Kildare in the Midlands. There's a golf course over there to my left. Little mini pub place, but a lot of people come down to just picnic and play sports and fly drones and go off-road and shit like that, you know. So The main army barracks for training is up there beyond those trees. And the Curra race course is over the far side once we go over the motorway, because the motorway goes right through the middle of it, so it kind of splits it in two. Here's a checkpoint. See what I mean? There's still checkpoints up. I'm okay because I live in Kildare and I'm still within my county. But there's still an element of when you drive up to these things, I kind of feel like the French resistance during the occupation of France by the Germans. You know? I'm like, oh, heck! A big car! Even though I know I'm legitimately okay to be out, and that's what I mean, it's a terrible state of mind to be in. But there's clearly something going on. Jeez, they're hardly going to give a damn about me out on my motorbike, and they've got a full-blown race going on here. Look, a camera crew and everything. Look, what the hell? We're still in lockdown, people. I know we've lifted the 5-kilometre thing, but we're still in lockdown. See what I mean? Not enforced, the guards are there. Yeah, but I'll try and find a little spot in off the road. And we'll have a look, as I promised, at some of the accessories and upgrades that I've done to the bike during lockdown to get her ready for when we can start getting back onto the road. So let's off-road. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be doing this in the pisses of rain. This just turns to a mud fest. And you have to be careful as well. You can see there's people out here driving golf balls. This'll do, I think. Now, some drone footage of this, I might stick a bit of it in here. I know I've played it before, but just so you can get an idea of what it is I'm in and where I am. But I'm going to have a Coke and a little bar, and then we go through these accessories. Alright, so I'm on the Curragh here on the way back from my little spin around Kildare during the lockdown. And so, as I mentioned, I want to go through some of the accessories that I put onto this bike now during the lockdown to get it ready for when it's lifted and we can get back on the road. So obviously, actually it's this week I'm actually supposed to be on the NC 500 in Scotland. I should literally be on it now as we speak, as I make this video. So as you can imagine, and you can see the weather at least here is good, so I can assume it's pretty good over there as well. I'm gutted, I'm absolutely gutted. Excuse me. I'm totally and utterly gutted that I can't be on. That's 2 years now in a row I've had to cancel that trip. So if you remember from when I vlogged the whole trip 2 years ago, I made a promise to myself I was going to just do the NC 500 every year for the next few years, because it's just that good. And I booked it for last year, had to cancel because of COVID. I booked it for this year, I had to cancel because of COVID. So I moved it out again to next year, and I'll be damned if I'll cancel it again. So to say I'm gutted is an understatement. But I do have some trips kind of provisionally booked, so as soon as this lifts, and hopefully if I can get my vaccine in time, and the hospitality sector starts to open up again, I'm planning hopefully to get at least a Ring of Kerry trip done, at least a Donegal trip. There's no point in trying to get abroad. As I said, I was thinking about maybe doing Norway, but it just wouldn't be worth the while and the money during COVID times. So anyway, I made a list of these because I know I'll forget some of them. I've gone through some of them in depth before in previous videos, but I just want to summarize very quickly what's been put on her in preparation for really getting back into the trips again. So in no particular order, we'll start going through them. So the first one is the USB port. That's this little doohickey down here. Takes two USBs, a fast charge and a standard. I think it's USB 3 and USB 2. And they're nicely positioned to come out, and you could run a wire from those into the back of the tank bag here. And as you can see, my phone has its own charging point, so that's two devices I could have charging in the tank bag, like my GoPro camera or the intercom system. You know, I can have anything going. Now, as I mentioned before, the problem with that is because I had to take out the SAE, sorry, not the SAE, I can't remember what it's called, but the original port in here. The only thing I could think of that was worth using that port for was a portable mini pump for pumping up the tire. So what I did then is I put in an SAE cable down here that runs straight up to the battery, and obviously it's fused, it only is powered on when the ignition is on. And then I bought a little inflator, a tire inflator that connects to that SAE. And the beauty of that is then that the same SAE cable can also be connected into my trickle charger, my Optimate 4, which I bought for this bike as well, to keep the battery topped up. So that means that I've got two USBs. I can still use my power inflator, and I can charge the bike when she's locked up in the shed. So to me, that is absolutely the best configuration. Now I got that little USB port in Nippy Normans. There's only a few quid, really simple to fit. The next thing then is this Touratech headlight cover. That's this little plastic doohickey here. That does just pop out. Oh, I dropped my glove. That pops out if you need to clean the headlight itself, so you don't have to disconnect all the nuts and bolts. It just pops off, and then you can clean the headlight. And it's just a way of protecting the headlight from stones and dirt and everything. If they get kicked up, it won't chip the headlight, because that'll be an expensive replacement. Handguard extensions. So this white section here is the original handguard, and then this clear section here is an extension. Now you can get really expensive ones of those, but I bought those on Wish. They were only a few quid. Got them in from China, as long as you don't mind waiting 6 weeks. And they're great. They just put in that bit of extra wind protection, a little bit of weather protection. And when you're riding on those narrow boreens, they just stop the thorn bushes and all just catching your hand, and so on. So just, you know, cheap and cheerful, and I think they look well as well. The Denali's probably the most expensive things I've put on so far. These big Denali, these are the D4s. They work in conjunction with the original spotlights at the front. That also comes with a Denali smart can system, which is in underneath the box there. And then there's the Denali, I think it's the T2 tail light that plugs into the bottom of the reg plate there. That's ultra bright. Now those Denali's D4s, I've never seen power like them. Like, I didn't think there was an issue with the headlight, and there isn't. The headlights on these bikes are quite powerful, but when you put these boys on beside them, wow, your headlight will look like a candle in a dark cave compared to them. They're incredible. Now you have to be careful with them in regards to oncoming traffic, but my god, they're powerful. And the additional light off the back tail light, because it's much more powerful, it just gives that more visibility to somebody to let them know you're braking, and just increases the safety. If you're buying the D4s or the D7s or whatever you're putting on there, it just makes sense to get the tail light put on at the same time. You might as well just it's, you know, for the sake of the extra few quid, just get them done. What's next? Oh yeah, with the Denali, I also got the sound bomb. That's a 120 decibel horn that goes into this thing. They left the original horn in there, so that's a double whammy when it gets hit. So if somebody pulls in front of you and you hit that button, they're going to know that you're there, you know. Really good safety feature. It's well worth the effort. Again, if you're putting in the Denali with the smart can and everything, you may as well stick it in. TomTom 550 sat nav, I've gone through that. You know my thoughts on that if you've been following the channel. I had the Nav 6, didn't like it. I went back to my TomTom 450, but then I realised the 550 was out and I got it, and it's basically the same as the 450 but a lot faster, and a few other little additional features on it. The gel inserts, these little coloured inserts here, another few quid. They think they just set off the tank, otherwise it's the little GS indentations are plain white. But I think the gel inserts, they set off the colour of the bike really well, and they look fantastic. Again, I got them, I think, on eBay for a few quid. I'll put up all the links to these. Custom name label. Now, I don't know if this GoPro, I got this here, little Irish flag, Adventure Bike Pilot, Irish flag, Adventure Bike Pilot, and then another one here. And then you'll notice, hopefully at the end of it, Ellie. So I don't know how many of you folks are following Itchy Boots, but I follow her religiously, and she's phenomenal. Absolutely, it's just a brilliant channel, and I've been following her for about a year now. And I have to admit, I like the way that she gives her motorbikes a name, because it gives them all a personality, and I do think each different motorbike has its own personality. This bike, even though it's still a GS, is definitely a vastly different bike to my old GS, and I've named this bike Ellie. Now that's because one, most of the time most vehicles are named in the feminine, and I was trying to think hard and fast about what name to give her, and I thought Ellie was good because I'm a bit of a gamer. I like my old PlayStation 5 and 4 and all, and I played the game The Last of Us, and the main character in that, particularly in The Last of Us 2, is a young lady named Ellie, and Ellie was just an incredible character in that game. She represents everything I'd want from my motorbike. She's loyal, powerful, she's just she's a survivor, she's a great companion, she's a tough nut, you know, a real, you know, if you were ever in trouble, Ellie's the one you'd want with you. And that's why I thought that it's a perfect name to give a motorbike, because your motorbike when you're on big trips is definitely your partner in crime when you're out and about, you know, and you do form a bond with it. So in true style of Itchy Boots, I thought it was a nice idea just to give her a name. I know it's a bit cheesy, but it's only a bit of fun. So everyone say hello to Ellie. Anyway, oh yeah, so those little labels, again, cheap as chips, but they're weatherproof, and they go on, and they're just nice little discreet names to put onto it, you know. The crash bar brace. So on this GS, They come with these bars as standard, but I had this additional one here put on because if you've been following the channel, you know the first week I got it, this bike blew over in the wind and it scratched the case of the engine there. So I think that wouldn't have happened if this bar had been braced a bit further out, so that's why I put on that brace, and that'll just, if the bike does fall over, and make sure there's no give in the side crash bars and they won't come in. Let's see what's next. Oh, the cylinder head covers. Excuse me. Cylinder head covers. So I put them on again in case the bike blows over. It just makes sure that the cylinder head covers of the bike themselves don't get scratched or cracked or broken. Those Touratech covers, if they do get scuffed, I could always take them off when it comes time to sell or trade in the bike. The Jivvy tank lock bag, this little tank bag here, and the tank lock system for it. I have to say, I've had a few tank bags, and I bought this one while I was waiting for the replacement stock of the Touratech Embato EXP bag, which is the bag that specifically matches this motorbike, and I bought this as a stopgap waiting for that. And it turns out it's actually the best tank bag, I think, on the market, because it's small, it's neat, you know, it's out of the way, it's just a simple little bag. And the thing about the Embato and bags like it is they're quite big, and they kind of block some of your view of the controls. And to be honest with you, I was worried about getting a small bag like this, and it's perfect for day rides, but what it does do is it forces you to carry less, which is always good. You know, if you get a larger bag like the Embato, which I did get, you just fill it with crap, you know, and you're just flying through it, whereas this forces you to think about what you're going to carry on the bike. And that was the other thing. Then I bought the Embato. I haven't used it. The reason I bought it is, one, because I just think it looks great on the bike, and two, because I wanted it for longer range journeys. If I was going on a much longer trip like the Norway trip and so on, I would probably bring that bag because of its extra capacity. But for a weekender or day rides, that Jivvy tank lock system bag is just, it's ideal. It's the best tank bag out there. And as I said, you don't have to go buying all these powered tank bags like the SW Motec. It's a waste of money. Just get this little cable thing. There's a little hole there, waterproof thing, run it through, you're good to go. It'll save you a ton of money. What's next? I've done the cylinder, the quad lock for the phone. Great little system. Just push it on, click it, and it locks it in place. Much better than the old X-Grip thing. Really neat. You'd hardly know it was there. This one comes with the powered unit, so you just run a cable into the phone, and then that's run down to the battery. Fantastic, simple little lock. I'm getting a cold. Camera mount. Cheap little forward-facing camera mount here that I've put on for the GoPro for the larger trips. I think I got that in Wish, again, cheapest chips. Frame hole plugs. So you can see here these plastic plugs for the frame. One there, there's another one somewhere else. Well, basically on my old bike I found that water gathered in those holes and those frame parts, and they'd start to rust some of the bolts in it. So I got these little plugs. They just slot in, and when you want them out, you just pop them out with a screwdriver, and that's it, done. I bought them on Wish, cheapest chips. The pillion box. This little box, I've done a whole thing on that as well. As you can see, I've kind of branded it a little bit. Brilliant little box. I don't think it messes with the aesthetics of the bike too bad. It looks like the back seat, you know. But that now keeps all of my puncture repair, my inflator, all of the stuff. And it just gives you that extra capacity of putting tools and maybe liquids that you don't want to mix with your ordinary luggage. You know, it just means that your side panniers are freed up for your clothes and your electronics and stuff. They're made by the same crowd, the TFT, Cymark TFT anti-theft screen. So again, I've done that. That's the little bracket here that keeps the TFT secure and less likely to be stolen. I'm sure if they want it, they'll get it, but it's just a deterrent, you know, it'll make it less likely. The Touratech toolbox, this doohickey here that opens out, waterproof again, more capacity for tools or whatever you want to put in there. So that in combination with the black one there on the pillion, loads of space for tools and bits and bobs, you know, it's just brilliant. It's so neat and discreet, and you just stick it on and you forget about it. Tail bag, as you can see, I got the little Wunderlich tail bag under there. To be honest, I'll probably, I don't know, I might get rid of it. There's absolutely zero capacity in it. There's nothing you could hold in it, you know. Maybe a packet of polos or something like that, but there's no, it wasn't worth the money. Tank bag, this graphic R1250 tank bag, great for keeping the tank from getting scratched up. Now this is there for the Touratech and Bato bag as well, that keeps it in place. And then, as I mentioned, the things that aren't on the bike is the Optimate 4, which is the trickle charge tender for this bike. The Optimate 4 is the one that's bespoke to BMW, so it actually connects into the, it'll talk to the bike, and it's just great at charging it and everything, you know. And then I have another charger then called the battery tender, and that goes on to the CBR 1100 Super Blackbird. Excuse me. That, I think, is everything. That's everything I can think of that I've put on it. I'm sure I've forgotten something, but yeah, so I've literally ran out of ideas of stuff to put onto her. So I've more than enough equipment on her now. I could travel the world 1,000 times over now with everything that's on this. So it's just a matter of getting the lockdown done and then starting to get going onto the roads again. So hopefully that was some information or informative to you. I can hear the plane over me. But yeah, so we'll crack on with our journey and finish it out for today and enjoy this weather. So let's crack on. Right then, let's off-road. So we've just left the Curragh. Just up here is the, sure we've seen it before, is the old duck pond. Or as I think it should be more accurately called now, the duckless pond. Yeah. I've been passing this for years, and this whole pond used to be full of reeds and rushes. And there was hundreds of ducks, and there must have been at least a dozen swans living on it. And then they cut away all the rushes. Look, it's completely cleared, and there's 2 ducks and a swan on it. Why would they do that? Terrible. Just destroy their habitat. For what? Poor old swan. A lone swan, swimming his own path. I suppose that's us done for today, lads. I got done everything I wanted to do. I got out for a ride. We had a good old circular ride around the entire county of Kildare without breaking the rules too much. Got some beautiful aerial footage of the Rock of Dunamase. We had a bit of an old chat. We went through all of the new accessories on the motorbike, gearing up for when this lockdown lifts and we can get out onto our biking trips proper. So all in all, and we found out beautiful high crosses of Moone, or Moone High Cross. Absolutely stunning. But I am fit to eat my own head at this stage. I am starving. So I'm going to love yous and leave yous, folks. I hope this video wasn't too long. And let me know what your plans are for trips this year with the opening of, as this vaccine will eventually get rolled out, I'm assumed. What your plans are, what you are up to. Any constructive feedback. I'm totally open to constructive feedback if it's done, you know, without being rude. So yeah, I'm about to take the last few miles stretch home. I'll talk to you soon. Stay safe, and hopefully we'll start to get a bit more out into the bikes and onto the road. And keep the old rubber side down. Take care, folks. Have fun.